Yo, Instagram, what's going on? Today we're talking about building sales teams. This is one of my favorite topics. I get very passionate about building sales teams because, I've been fortunate to build one with up to a team of around 25-ish people, with 20 SDRs, sales development representatives, and around 5 to 7 closers. And we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to give you guys the source that can get you guys 50 appointments a day, because that's what we've done. At our best, we're getting 50 to 60 appointments a day. And, it's chaotic, it's lit, but it's fun. So who we got today? We got Collins, we got Albin. So guys, as usual, stay till the end, okay? And one of you will win $100 if you stay to the end. And we're gonna give a lot of source, because a lot of people, what I realized is a lot of people get stuck under 7 figures because they become really good at selling their own service or product, which is great, like that's crucial. But they really struggle to, teach other people, and wealth really is built through leadership and making good decisions. There's a saying, it's better to own a part of a watermelon than to own the whole grape. And a lot of people, they own the whole grape. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Marielle? So when it comes to building good sales teams, there's 3 to 5 really crucial things that I can tell you guys will scale a sales team from, a team of 1 to a team of, and I haven't done a team of 50, but like team of 5, 10, 15, 20. And these things, if you can instill them into your team, whether you're selling SaaS products, whether you're selling agency services, consulting, these things can print, and I mean print money. Like print, okay? It's to the point where it's the 29th of May, and then we had a bad month. I'll be honest, my sales team missed the quarter. Unless someone closes an extra 10 to 20 grand in deals out of nowhere today, we missed the quarter. And it hurts me to say that, but that's the reality, and we need to improve. And I'm gonna look at my numbers tomorrow, and we're gonna go over it. But a bad month in terms of sets for us, so this is a bad month, quote unquote, is like over 500 appointments set. It's like over 100 to 150 demos booked and like pitched. It's still an extra 20, 30 clients. That's a bad month, okay? So I do feel like I'm somewhat qualified to, divulge on this topic. So what is the first thing you need to do to scale the 50 to 60 appointment sets a day? The first thing you need is gamification. A lot of you guys are too boring. Too boring. What we're doing, I'll have someone in my company where their job is essentially to be the cheerleader of clientele boosters. They're in the Slack channel, they're like, who's gonna get the first set of the morning? And then by like 12 to 11:30 a.m. in the morning, they're like, this person's on 5, this person's on 4, this person's on 3. 3 is gonna catch up to 4. Are they gonna push up? Can he beat her today? Today. Like a game show host. So by the afternoon, everyone's at 5, they're neck and neck. Who's gonna break through to 8? Boom! Right? Albin said you need to be energetic. Yes, and you need to deploy energy correctly. Sometimes I'll jump in and start getting appointments. You know what I mean? Albin said Red Bull morphed into a person. No, I'm just naturally high energy, but you need to gamify things. Daily leaderboards, right? Sets called, booked, like drum roll. Like you need to make it fun, and you need to make it competitive, because the natural proclivity of a salesperson is competitiveness. So you want to embrace that. The second thing, and this is something that we've kind of naturally done, but I think I've learned as I've grown my company. We started doing this last year. What's up, Ema? Started doing this last year, and I think Hormozy like drills it down really well. Just do more than everyone else. What do I mean by that? There's the call side of things, but I want to move it a bit away from the calls. When it comes to training, we do 2 trainings a day. My appointment setting team, the SDRs, and the closers, we're training 2 times a day minimum. I'll be honest, sometimes I'm like, am I doing too little? Am I training too little? I'll be honest. That's an insecurity of mine. I'm going to be doing most likely a speaking gig overseas later in the year with this guy. And he was actually someone I looked up to when I was 19, 18, and he had an agency back then when he was 20 or 21. I think it was 21. I was doing like 7 figures a year back then. And this is like pre-COVID, you know what I mean? And basically, I'm going to be speaking on stage with this guy. Like, we just got the contract, looks good, etc. And why do I mention that? I know where we're strong. I know where our strong points are. What's up, Path? What's up, Nalath? And I love where our strong points are. But I'm like, you know, if he's doing now 20 million a year, or 10 to 20 million a year, and he's 28, well, and I'm 26 and I'm doing a couple million a year, like, if I just scaled where we're strong, we could get there in like a year or two, or a year or less, really. So then I always have like the insecurity of like, should I be like training more? What's up, King Anthony Ken? So when it comes to training 2 times a day, we have one training in the morning. The first half of it is we just listen to call reviews. So the SDRs, 30 minutes, listening to call reviews, we're going to listen to role play. Okay, great. Okay, that was a good call. Why was it a good call? What made it a bad call? Why did it set? Why didn't it set? Okay, fantastic. After that, cold calling session. Everyone's making calls together. I'm hearing this person F up. I'm hearing that person F up. I was on the cold calling calls literally till like January of this year. And I'm the CEO. Not many CEOs get in the mud like that. Today, I spent 90 minutes cold calling because I was testing out a new offer for our agency. And I was like, damn, like, it's good to be back on the phone. It's like, because I know how hard it is. And my bad day was still 2 or 3 sets while doing other CEO stuff, going to the bank, fixing key issues, talking to different leadership people. What's up, Pratika? What's up, Veda? And I don't say that for the sake of saying that. I say that because I understand the importance of repetition. So that's the morning sales training for the SDRs. In the evening, at the end of the shift, they have a 30-minute session where they just go over all the objections one by one. Hey, what objections did you hear today? Any blockers? No blockers. Okay. What objections did you hear today? No blockers. Okay, great. What objections did you hear today? This, and this. Okay, great. Anyone, how do we get over that objection? I like that. Any others? I like that one too. Okay, here's what I'm using. So what it does is you're fostering vulnerability. Sales is vulnerable. It's like you're communicating face noise to another human. That's a vulnerable act. They get to hear what your tone sounds like. They get to hear how you see yourself. Sales is almost spiritual, like you're transferring energy to someone else. That's powerful, right? So that's just the appointment setting team. 2 sessions a day, 10 sessions a week. That's at least an extra, when you say 90 minutes a day in total, that is 90 times 5, 450 minutes. That's like 9 hours. I think I'm going to butcher the math. 6 hours. Anyway, it's like 10 to 15 hours, let's just say, a week. You don't have to be great at maths to be an entrepreneur. Of extra training that other companies won't do. So sometimes I'm insecure. I'm like, these other companies that are doing tens of millions of dollars, maybe I'm not as good of a closer as I think I am. You know what I mean? But yeah, we do that. And then the second part is the closing team. In the morning, we do our sessions and we do a role play session. Wake up, role play, boom. Ace, pitch me. Arrow, pitch me. John, I'll pitch you. Can you pitch John? And it's 30, 40 minutes of pitching the presentation. Boom. And then I'll pause them. Okay, pause, say this differently with that tonality. Great, say this differently with this example. This example is better. Great, say this, we actually did this. Great, I'm 26, not 30. Like, you get what I mean? And that repetition, guys, like, after the cold calling, after the closer role play session in the morning, in the evening, we now do our call reviews. So we're going to listen to a closed call that I could have closed last year, this year. And we're looking at the pattern. Hey guys, you see how I asked questions at the start of the call? And then after I asked questions, I shut up and I asked them more questions about the things that they were saying. Okay, great. So, so you have a junk removal business? Awesome. Okay, so you've been struggling to get leads. Got it. How long have you been struggling for? And that must be quite painful because, whilst the business revenue has stayed the same, you've hired more staff. So the business has become less profitable. Has that affected your sleep? I know that when my business sometimes gets less profitable, I tend to be a bit more anxious. Have you felt that same anxiety? Wow, okay. How have you tried to mitigate that? You've been struggling with that? Got it. And that's led you to maybe getting burned by cheaper options because you're trying to fix a problem quickly, but you realize that, cheap things, you have to pay for them twice. Got it. How many times did you try that? Like, I can imagine you probably lost tens of thousands of dollars. Did that put you in debt? Wow. Did you have to use a credit card? See how much depth you can get from like practicing? Like I just made up a scenario, but my brain is so naturally like good now, I'd like to think, of like, what's up, Andy? Thanks, Alvin, of getting to like the real pain of something. Right? But that's because me and my sales team, Monday to Friday, 30 minutes. Sometimes we'll listen to a whole 90-minute call while I'm in the gym. Listening. Your brain just starts absorbing the patterns. So you got to outdo people. My sales team, by the end of 2027, I honestly believe this, will be an 8 to 9 figure sales team. I genuinely believe that in my heart. And it's not because I think I'm good or my sales team's the best. I just think we will do the necessary amount of hours required to win. That is how we've been able to grow. At the start, in February last year, we had 0 account managers. Now, you can't really see that on the board, but all those different lines, we have like 20 now, and now 80 staff. Which is why I was testing new offers, because I'm like, we need to grow a little bit faster. We've grown every month this year, but like, we need to grow even faster, because I'm spending a lot, and I love taking risks, and I'm not going to spend any less. So we're going to grow faster. So what does that mean? We have to do more. We have to do more. 2 training sessions. Now, this is another one that you have to do. Andy said, can listen to this guy for hours. He speaks facts every sentence. That's love, man. I appreciate it. Team culture. A lot of people force team culture. They're like, oh, we have to do this at X and we have to do Y at Z. And that's what makes us team culture. But the character of the leader influences the culture of the people. So I cannot tell you to be what I am not. So my team knows that I used to play basketball. It was so interesting, almost unconsciously, cosmically almost. Like for the influence of maybe Christ alone. What's up, Nasha? The team started calling themselves basketball names. Like I never called myself a basketball, but they're like, hey, that one's Michael Jordan. This one is LeBron James. This one's Steph Curry. I'm Phil Jackson. I'm the coach. But I never told them to call me this. Because why? The character of the leader influences the culture of the people. So I can't say, hey, name yourself Messi, name yourself Ronaldo, name yourself Conor McGregor, name yourself Floyd Money Mayweather. Unconsciously, because I used to play basketball, the sales team, for whatever reason, I know some of them play cricket, so there's no incentive for them to be called. But the influence of the culture. Maybe I give it for basketball vibe. Partially probably because I'm black, probably because I've got dreads, and because you can find videos of me playing basketball on YouTube. Who knows? But my character, my essence, my vibe influenced that department. So what do? Nicknames. And let it fly. And this is where maybe some sales corporate people would disagree with me. But this is what helped us get to, the 7 figures a year. Or multiple 7 figures a year. And they nickname themselves. So when, for example, James closes a 4K a month deal, they're like, King James! Like LeBron James with the crown. And we got a video of him like dunking. And then what happens is culture compounds. It's really beautiful. Like the social economics of what gets rewarded really compounds. That's why you have to be very careful with what you reward, which is the next thing that I'll talk about. What's up, Eddie? What's up, Mohi? What's up, Bedavita? Alvin's laughing. So we celebrate that. And then John Steffen, when he closes a 2K a month deal, we're like, Steffen from deep hits a 3. And we're like doing like fire emojis, rockets. We're spamming emojis when he closes a deal. And what does the first person do? The one that hypes up the SDR team? When she's like, 5 and 5, who's going to break 7? 1 hour left, who's going to hit 8? We do the same for the closers. And I'm still on the closing team. 2 deals today, who's going to get the 3rd one? My money's on Stephen Curry. My money's on Queen Ace. Right? For the girls, not many of them know like WNBA players, so they just say queen and like princess, whatever. But that's still the vibe. Royalty. But again, it wasn't forced. Because in another culture, like maybe I have a friend of mine, he owns like a coaching agency, and he uses terms like gladiator and stuff like that. Maybe that's more aligned with him. But the culture has to be connected to you, and it has to happen, I almost say organically. You can use terms that you write for people to adopt, but I think it's really cool when naturally there's just a kind of vibe that compounds. And I think it makes it more fun as well. So your nicknames. Now, if you guys are using Slack, you can actually put emojis of your staff as, you can rather, let me rephrase that. You can make emojis of your staff and you can use them to react to other people. So, you know, when someone closes a deal, sometimes they'll use a video of a head closer, James, and they'll have a picture of his face, emoji. When someone like does something really good, I'll support, they'll do a photo of me cropped with glasses on. You know what I mean? Like those things make you create an environment that people want to come to. Not an environment where they're like, oh, I gotta show up today. Does that make sense? Like you need to create that warmth. Nicknames, emojis, celebrations, GIFs, public recognition. Like don't take yourself so seriously. I'll be on a call. Like my ops manager, she's amazing. Shout out to KC. She just integrated like every Friday. And this is not really like my vibe, but again, this is the importance of like compounding because that's bigger than you. We'll have an end of day thing on Friday where it's kind of like a work party, like a virtual work party where everyone is chit-chatting, vibing, and like it's cool. Me personally, I actually don't attend those. Maybe that's bad of me, but I'm usually still like doing things like this on Friday. But there's that vibe. And when you want to create a high performance culture, people need to love the feeling of progression. And how you reward progression isn't just by actually closing the deal. It's rewarding everything else that leads up to the closed deal, which is the appointment set, which is the demo, and then the closed deal, right? Okay. The last thing that I'll mention is leading by example. So literally, I was talking to my head of sales today. I was like, bro, listen, like there's this certain offer that I know was crushing it back then. Now with AI, I reckon this would crush even more. Alvin said I had an activity call before this with Casey. There you go, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell you to make these calls first. I'm going to go ahead, cold call it, test the market, record myself attacking the market. I'm going to give it to you. And I did that. I told him before I even started calling people in this niche. I have never at least cold called intentionally this niche before. Ever in my life. 2 appointments booked. One of them was like a 40-minute chat. Like, so there's a high chance that she'll probably, you know, be a good demo to say the least next week. Hopefully it turns into 5 or 10 grand. Right? So leading from the front just shows him I'm serious. I said it by the morning, by the afternoon it's done. Gave him the voice recording. He's like, I love it, boss. Speed. You know why he said speed? I see my different team members in different group chats saying speed in caps. Why? Because at the end of every Tuesday and Thursday call, our team values compound across 80 people. Speed, deep thinking, client first. Imagine when you're a new client, you just jump into a group chat with people from we have staff in Nigeria, Ghana, Philippines, Australia. What's up, Cherry? South America, Europe. Imagine you're an Australian guy and they're in a group chat. And they're just all corporate and very professional. And then you get someone in the Philippines, and their client already gets their first lead within 7 days. And someone in the Philippines is like, speed! And then it's like, speed! Like a little exclamation mark, right? So you have to lead by example. Now, I don't think Alex Hormozy is making cold calls. I think he has enough people to test the waters if he's trying to test a new offer. But you know what's crazy? I feel like if he needed to, he would. I think that's a good leader. It's a leader that can get in the mud, not just tell you to do something. My sales team, when they're hired, they listen. I've recorded 50 to 150 objections. My setters can use it and my closers can use it. And my new closers, when they want to jump on a call, they can jump on a call. Listen to me pitch. I might not get the deal. I might also get the deal. Pretty good closer. That's what the stats will say. You get what I'm saying? So you've got to lead from the front. Okay. Final thing, speed of implementation. So again, Mohi said, half the jobs are left because the captain has never been frontline. You know what? Facts, Mohi. And look, I kind of empathize with them because some people, honestly, they're good CEOs for one part of the business. Some people are product-based CEOs. But, if you look at most billionaires, a lot of them did start in door-to-door sales or some version of cold calling. So, it's good that people like yourself and I, Mohi, we're practicing and focusing on building a core skill set that can essentially bulletproof us and recession-proof us. But there's some CEOs that are just really good at product and client retention. And then there's some that are salesy and actually aren't that good at like keeping the client long term. But I do think, 100%, if you're an entrepreneur that's worked corporate and you've been able to learn the different skills, like yourself and I, it doesn't make the journey any easier, but it gives you more context on how to solve problems. Because I've seen this before. Exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page. What's up, Nick? So, speed of implementation. If a seller has a bad day, don't attack them for it. Great work today. I love that you made 100 calls. I love it. Like, what do you think you could have done better? Let them say first. And then if they answer it, I agree. Cool. Anything else? When you give people permission to self-correct, a lot of people are smarter than you think. People aren't retarded. Some people are retarded, but not everyone's retarded. A lot of people will know where they messed up. Great. Let's work on that one thing the next day. The next day, they might have 10 appointments. A lot of my SDRs, within their first 1 week of working for my company, all glory be to God, because this is just a result of good culture. I'm just fortunate to be the conduit. There's better closers that are tackling the closers now than me. And same with sellers, but at the end of the day, like I remember my head of sales, I've told this story before. My head of sales, Errol James. I've got a picture of this on my Instagram. I'll probably show you this. You guys can look at this, actually, my Instagram highlights. He's like, hey, Dami, let's go set for set today. This was like, before I was living in this penthouse. I was like 24 or something like that. Or maybe early 25. And he's like, let's go set for set today. He gets like 2 sets, I get 1. He's like, I want to beat you, boss. Do you know what I did? That day I got like 15 sets. Just to let him know, hey, you're my head of sales, but I can still jump with you and above you. By the way, I hope that he's at this point, he exceeds me in terms of like, he's the closer. Like most of the revenue from the new revenue every month comes from him and my company. And that's how it should be. But you need to be able to like show your team, hey, like I'm ready to work. I'm gonna get, if I'm not distracted by CEO shit today, let's get jiggy. I'm with it. Let's go band for band. I just had to show I can do 15 sets like that. And I still have time to do other stuff. I'm going to go back to being a CEO while you do your 5 sets a day, head of sales. And obviously that's my guy. He's a legend. He makes a lot of money with me. He'll probably make at least 6 figures this year, right? But yeah, you gotta be able to lead by example. And the speed of implementation is how you create a culture of openness. My guys fail all the time. They see me fail all the time. Hey, Dami, this client wants the refund. Okay, why? Let's have this uncomfortable conversation together. Wow, boss, I'm really surprised that you actually, you know what, they're a human. Don't be scared, they're human. It's okay. Now you know what to do. Now they don't have to take me for that call. They know how to solve that, fix this. Hey, look, give us another 3 weeks. We're going to fix this problem. Okay, great, we're happy. Client gives a testimonial. But that took them to see me being comfortable, being vulnerable. Speed of implementation. Okay. Those are the topics for today. Ask me anything. SDR team development. Like I said, at our peak, we're doing 50 or 60 appointments a day. By the end of 2026, I want 300 to 500 appointments a day. Alvin said, Dami, let's go edit for edit. Hey man, all right, let me get to this game show, and I can whip up 3 reels if I need to. You'll smoke me on that. I'm not gonna lie, but I can definitely cook up some edits. I used to do a lot of people don't know this. I have a lot of editing experience from nightclub work. I used to own an R&B nightclub when I was 22, and it failed horribly. And my business partner took all my IP, and long story. Very messy story. So I can edit better than most people think. Not as good as you, Alvin. You're at a different level. Q&A on sales teams. Maureen said this was great. Andy said love this. Love you guys. Love the support. We're in this together. Okay. Alvin said, what about the close? Do you need to present yourself on the calls? Good question. This is a really good question. It depends on the culture, and I'd almost say the type of business. So when I was 23, 24, I used to split test like me wearing different clothes. So when I'd wear like a black shirt, or a pure white shirt, or like a dress buttoned up shirt, or like a jacket. For the most part now, I think it's because I've got like CEO energy maybe. It sounds really corny, but I think it's just what it is. I can wear like a black jacket and like a white shirt, or a black jacket and a black shirt, and my closing rate still is pretty decent. My head of sales, he likes to wear a black jacket. You know what's interesting? I just found something that I'm doing unconsciously, that I'm influencing, that I probably need to tweak or I need to keep doing. My head of sales wears a black jacket when he's closing deals, and he says when he wears it, it makes him feel more Australian. Interesting. And he's my head closer. So I guess I've just found my answer. For my company right now, maybe it's a black jacket. When I wear a full suit, when I go to pitch people in person, suits were good. But when I'm doing demos, I feel like, so Alex Hormozy says something, it's like, you never need to, there's no benefit in being accurately assessed. So if I'm wearing a suit, usually people that wear suits, they're trying to compensate. They're trying to show, not always, but they're often trying to like show, hey, I've got money, hey, I'm prestigious, I'm wearing. But then like a really rich billionaire, or like someone that even has a company that's doing multi-million a year, they can just rock up in something tight, comfortable, because they're happy for people to, not perceive them correctly because they're the ones that are cutting the checks, or they're the ones that, etc. So everyone's things are different when it comes to that. That's also a culture thing. So for example, if it's someone that wears suits, then that will work. That will work. Like, because that's your vibe. But for me, I'm be honest, like, I don't tell my setters to like wear like suits to work. I really don't care. Like, be comfortable, get the result, just attend training. I'm going to trust you. But like, we've got a ridiculously good sales culture. I truly, and I don't say this with ego, I'm just looking at numbers. I truly reckon by end of 2027, so in a year and a half, I reckon we will average, honestly, like between like 500 to 1,000 sets a day. Because why not if we're already averaging, not now, we've actually had a bit of a slower week this week, but at our peak 50 to 60 sets a day, why can't we do that? And I'm only going to get older and more mature and like meet my team in person, So that's my comment on the close things. Andy said, Albin, the new podcast intro is fire. Albin said, can't wait for the new episodes with it. So yeah, we have a podcast. Shout out to Andy. We did a podcast last Sunday. Me, Pranav, Andy, one of Andy's friends, and we cooked up. That's going to come out next week. I'm really excited. Ken said, we always emphasize that what works for you doesn't work for me. Ken is my sales team leader, appointment setting team leader. And what works for me doesn't work for you. And it makes sense every time. 1 trillion, and Ken, that's why you're the appointment setting team leader. Like, a lot of people are so narcissistic that they think the only way that they do something is the way it should be for everyone. But I'll give you an example. If you're a hot blonde girl and I'm a black guy with dreads, I can assure you that there's certain things that she might be doing unconsciously that is different to how I might be communicating unconsciously. Like, as a black, I'm being 100% real. Like, when I was signing up a lot of clients last year in Brighton, Hampton area, like rich white area, like restaurants, guys, I'll dress up a bit more, speak a little bit differently. Hey, James, how are you? Yeah, should we take a seat? Cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Well, look, I first of all want to say congrats on your establishment. Like, this is incredible. Right? How long have you been building this for? Really? That's tricky. Did that take a while? Okay. And you have the kids, right? Is it tough to balance all of that? And I sound a bit more white. I already understand. They're like, oh, hold on, black guy. Like, I know it sounds, but I'm not trying to, it's just the reality. But if I'm talking to a Ugandan bowler, he's got a chain in the US, he owns a record label, he saw my ads, he liked my ads. I'm saying, what's happening? I used to play basketball in LA and SAC. What's happening? What do you want? Talk to me. Talk to me nicely. What do you want? Come on. Like, it's a different. So like, it's the same with the SDRs. Some SDRs might be really good at slowing things down. There are repeatable patterns that work. But as long as you're getting the result, document it, practice the F out of it. But I will add a comma. There are general things that work. Like upward inflections, ask questions. Downward inflections, communicate authority. Right? Like, there are basic things that work. Generally speaking, if you talk slow, it's going to be better. But in terms of objection handling, even objection handling, there's like science and art to it. But one thing I've realized as well, I talked about this on the podcast, a lot of people look at business just as science, which is true. There is a certain amount of inputs for you to get to the next, like to get to X level, especially under 100K a month. Like 90% of that is just your brain, like not letting you reach out to like 100 people a day, like for the most part, like for most things, right? Or 200 people a day. But, and maybe I'm being naive, but I feel like once you're kind of in the swamp, between like 1 to 5 million a year, there's art and there's science and there's art. Like, I know what my leadership archetype is. I'm a visionary, right? I'm good at operations, but I'm not the best at ops. So I'm good at great ops manager, right? But I'm visionary. right? So my unique skill set, if I'm to be a billionaire in my 30s, if I am, the skill set that will get me there is not sales and marketing. It's network-driven ecosystem creation. And I know that sounds like a lot of random words, but nearly every venture that I've had extreme success in has been the result of me utilizing networks of people to create a repeating ecosystem that then produces value. Corsair, sales teams, culture, like there's so many different businesses or sales-based things that has been the result of network-driven ecosystems. But again, I'll reveal that in more depth once I hit $1 million a month. So give me hopefully 5 to 8 months. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Mohi said you had so many businesses. How do you know when to walk off if there's too much resistance? How do you identify if it's worth pushing or walking away? Really good question. The agency was the first legit business that I'd started. I'd had different YouTube channels because I used to grow up being really musical. So I teach people how to play guitar on YouTube. And I try faceless YouTube channels. But even other things like the nightclubs and the cleaning businesses and the crypto ventures, the NFT ventures, right? There's businesses I haven't even talked about, cleaning businesses, etc. Other agencies that I've tried, a lot of them were kind of spawned off the marketing agency. So for me, that was usually it's the thing you can spend the most amount of time in that you win in, no matter what you pick. Now, obviously we're in an age where AI is super, is the big variable. But if you essentially spend 5 to 10 years in anything, most people don't make it to year 5. They really don't. I have friends that we started business at the same time. They made their first $1 million lifetime. So what I mean is lifetime, not in a year. We do, we're going to do a couple million in a calendar year this year, minimum. But they did $1 million over 5 years. And once they posted it on Instagram and Facebook, we did $1 million, look at our Stripe, which is fine because everyone's driven differently. They got married because there was a couple that, and they're started other brands, but I don't think growing businesses is their main focus. But for me, it's I know what my freedom number is, and I want to get there, and then I can assess if I want to start potentially pursuing other parts of my life with as much zest. So, Mohi, to answer your question, I think you need to figure out what's something that you've been doing longer than most people that you have a unique advantage in, number one. Another way to look at it is what do your enemies compliment you on, right? Say I get in a fight with someone and I think I'm cringe. They can be I hate Dami, he's so cringe, but that guy, he's freaking good at talking. Fuck, he's good at talking. Great. That means I should be focusing on doing more talking-based things. Guys, Mohi, man, I hate Mohi, but she's really good at freaking real estate. She's really good at real estate, man. Damn it, she's good at real estate. Damn it, she's good. If your enemies compliment you on something, you should probably do more of that because they have no incentive to compliment you, The big guys like Tim Cook, I've seen them in plain white shirts. Yeah, but also it's I'm nowhere near a billionaire. Liquid, I'm not a liquid, liquid, I'm not a millionaire. My net worth is millions, correct? But I'm not liquid a millionaire. If I was to sell everything I had, yes, I'll be worth multi-millions. But liquid, I'm not a millionaire. So I don't want to compare myself to billionaire guys like Tim Cook quite yet. But I think what you notice in people like them is simplicity. They don't want to waste cognitive effort on what am I wearing? And for the most part, I really don't. I really don't, Ken said, in the end, it's not about proving who is way better, but about respecting differences and finding common ground where both of us can grow. 100 million %. Can I agree? 100 million %. It's all about growth, man. I learn things from Ken. Ken learns things from Arrow. Arrow teaches me things. There's way better salespeople out there that should have bigger companies than me. And I'm probably better than some salespeople that have bigger companies than me. But there's something that they're doing that I'm not doing. And there's something that others are doing that I'm doing. It's just, you can't have an ego when you're trying to grow fast. It would just be a stumbling block. What's up, Sean? Mohi said Dami is shape-shifting. I guess. What's up, Sean? What's up, Abdi? Mohi. Always, man. I got your back, Mohi. Cool. All right. I think we'll leave it there. Albin will let me know who the winner is. Drum roll. Again, gamification. And if you mean the shape-shifting because I'm moving my body a lot, I think that's just me itching to get stuff done. I've got 2 game shows tomorrow, so I've got to get a lot of admin done before then. I'm going to DJ for tomorrow's game show. Alvin said, what I do is I try to get one element from everyone. Proactive learning, man, that's how you win, man. That is how you win the game, man. That is how you win the game. No shape shifting. I'm going to let Mohi explain. What do you mean by shape shifting? As in like Samiza. With the white guy. Oh, code switching. No, I don't care. Well, I won't shape shift on my values. That I won't do. Like I've lost money for my values before. Trust me. Like I run a production company talking about very contentious topics that got 5 of my, actually more than 5, Albin knows this, like 10 Instagram accounts got taken down. My values are uncompromisable and I've lost a lot of opportunity for that I will not reveal on camera because I don't want my Instagram account to get taken down. Albin knows what I'm talking about. I push the edges. But if I have to change how I sound, I'll tell you why we all shapeshift. Because the way you talk to your brother, I'm not sure if you have a sibling, Marie, but the way you talk to someone that is related to you is the way you also talk to, is different to the way you talk to a teacher, is different to the way you talk to a priest, is different to the way, it's a skill meant as a compliment. As in going from a down-to-earth person to someone who can get along with a slope. Oh, thank you. Okay. I won't splurge my rant. I appreciate the compliment. But yeah, we all shapeshift, man. It's actually a sign of, it's part of evolutionary biology. Let's put it that way. And you're good at shapeshifting too. I've heard you sell before. All right, Mohi's the winner. Drum roll. All right, Mohi, Alvin will reach out and we'll get the $100 sent over by tonight or tomorrow morning from my head of finance. I'll push for tonight. I think tonight should be fine. I think he's still online. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I love talking about sales. Keep an eye out. There's going to be a huge announcement. I'll most likely be speaking in India with some major 9-figure heavy hitters in the agency space. So speak to you guys soon. Let's go. Take care.